How about you, Landry? How do you live out your faith in the context of a professional basketball team?
I guess I'll be transparent here. I was what I like to call, was actually a title of a book. I haven't told you about this one yet.
Okay.
His name is Pastor Greg Groeschel, and his book was entitled Christian Atheist, and it was believing in God but living as if God didn't exist. So
That's deep.
yeah, so I got drafted in, of all places, New York City, which is, I mean, you think Philly, you know the spots in Philly. I mean, New York is
New York is one big spot.
crazy. I mean, so I honestly, I fell into the stereotypical NBA single. I'm going out almost every other night after games, a lot of girls, and I mean, that was my life for a while. And then that book, it was a girl I was dating, my ex, we broke up, and then she gave me that book. I don't know what the significance of that is, but
It's a parting gift.
it's crazy. Here. So I read that book, and life started kind of to change. I started feeling God calling me, being like, Landry, this isn't what I have in mind for you. You know, I have something greater, something, you know, much more than this. This is leading to a dead end. And that was a turning point for me. So at that point, I started reading a lot more, getting into the Bible. And I'm not saying I was perfect after that, but I could feel, you know, the Holy Spirit was working within me, bringing me back to where I needed to be. And, you know, so at that point, I was Christian, but I couldn't sit there and, you know, evangelize my teammates when we were just at the club last night. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that all about? So I knew I had to change some ways, and I think it was from that point on where now it's kind of like what John says, you know, I try and live in a way where somebody's going to come to me and, hey, there's something different about you. What is it? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
You come to Toronto, a free agent, you sign a contract with the Raptors, and let's be honest, last 2 years you have not yet, because of your wrist and your hand, been able to play consistently to your full potential. It's been really frustrating. How are you working your way through this?
It's honestly, it's been kind of the same thing.
2 surgeries, by the way.
I've had 2 surgeries, yeah. But I tell you what, the last year and a half, I've never been closer to God in my entire life. Through this injury, which I nicknamed the thorn in my hand, because it's just always there, and I just feel like I have to live with it now.
Yeah.
It's allowed me to rely on God and not basketball, not certain material stuff in this life. It's really, I mean, on the outside looking in, people who don't know God or anything like that, they might say, oh wow, that he's been dealt such a bad hand. And at first it seemed like that, but I'm so grateful now for it, because as I said, the relationship has been through the roof.
Yeah.
And it really, I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard it, you know, you don't understand God's all you need until God's all you have. I mean, I still have plenty in my life, but this was just like one instance where I was like, man, if I can get through this, I can get through that. I mean, there's other aspects of my personal life too that he's helped me with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Romans 8:28.
Tell us, Romans 8:28.
Oh, was that another question you wanted?
No, I'm going to lean on you right now.
Lean right into that?
Right into that.
All right, well, it's my favorite Bible verse, Romans 8:28. All things work together for good for those who love God. And I mean, that's a condensed version, but you look at it, it gives meaning to suffering, it gives meaning to setbacks in your life, where I look at this now not as something that's going to tear me down, but it's going to eventually build me up. God's going to work good through this in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know how, I don't know, I mean, so far it's been great, I see it already, but for the future and all that stuff, you know, I believe that, and it makes suffering not as hard to take. You know,
Doesn't mean it's pleasant.
Doesn't mean it's pleasant. No, because I've ended up in chapel a few times with tears in my eyes, saying, "Herbie, man, help me! Like, this is so frustrating." But I never lose hope. I'm never in a state of despair at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something for everybody. You look at anything in your life that seems like a setback or seems like a problem. Trust in God, knowing that eventual good will come out of it. I mean, look at the cross It was something that's horrific, but look at the greatness that came out of it, salvation for those who believe. That's pretty powerful to me.
Absolutely.